symmetric telecommunication line which offers direct connectivity to the internet. This is done by connecting the nearest service provider's nodal point and the customer premises with a dedicated copper line, optical fiber cable, radio links, or any combination of these. Leased lines are dedicated lines used primarily by ISPs, business, and other large enterprises to connect LANs and their campus networks to the internet using the existing infrastructure of the public telephone network, that is public switched telephone network PSTN, or other providers. It is sometimes also known as a private circuit or a private data line. Typically, leased lines are used by businesses to connect geographically distant offices. Unlike dial-up connections, a leased line is always active. Unlike traditional PSTN, public switched telephone network lines, it does not have a telephone number, each side of the line being permanently connected to the other. Leased lines require that a fixed line can be connected to your building. You pay an annual rental fee only and have no connection or any other additional connectivity charges for the use of the service. Because the connection does not carry anybody else's communications, the carrier can assure a given level of quality. For example, T1 lines are a popular leased line option for businesses connecting to the internet and also for the internet service providers connecting to the internet backbone. It supports data rates up to 1.544 megabits per second. Bonded T1 is another example of leased line connection. It consists of two or more T1 lines that have been joined together to increase the bandwidth, and it supports data rates of 3 Mbps, 3 megabits per second. T3 lines are dedicated phone connections supporting data rates of about 43 to 45 Mbps. T3 lines are used mainly by internet service providers connecting to the internet backbone and for the backbone itself, where we require the largest bandwidth for data transfer. So advantages of leased line connectivity over the other internet access technologies are: leased line connectivity provides high speed connectivity than dial-up. It is a dedicated connection without any sharing, because it's a point to point connection, so there are no other one is sharing the connection while it is on. Internet based lines are more reliable, generally come with an SLA, which is called service level agreements to the customer. Internet leased lines offer symmetric connectivity, means same speed for both uploads and downloads. Symmetric connectivity is critical for applications like file sharing between two branches of a office, hosting websites, mail servers, etc., video conferencing, voice over internet protocol, all of which are used by medium and large businesses regularly. There is a wider choice of bandwidth selection in case of internet leased lines. With broadband, the selection is more restricted. Unlike a DSL or cable modem internet connection from your home, you are able to control how the bandwidth is distributed on a dedicated line, because you and your recipient are the only locations using the line. Because it is not a shared connection, therefore the user can control how he want to distribute the bandwidth for various applications he is using. So there is a wider choice of bandwidth selection in leased lines, which is not available in broadband like DSL or cable modem technologies, because they are shared connections and the speed fluctuates according to the number of users who are using, the number of subscribers who are using the or accessing the internet simultaneously. Higher bandwidth is possible only through internet leased lines. That is why it is the default choice for large organizations with hundreds of internet users. Internet leased lines are provided through multiple media like copper wires, it may be through optical fiber, through radio links, or a combination of these. Optical media communication is more reliable and offers better fault tolerance abilities, especially for higher bandwidths. Internet lease lines offer a pool of permanent IP addresses which enables organizations to run their own mail servers, web servers, and other applications. Internet lease lines offer better quality of service when compared to broadband, so it is more effective to run convergent services like voice, video, etc. over internet lease lines because it is not a shared connection, so there is uh, much less risk of security. That is why they provide quality of service, and also there is no fluctuation of speed in case of leased lines. In addition to these advantages, there are some limitations or disadvantages of leased line also. The first one is they are more expensive than alternative connectivity services like ADSL, SDSL because they are reserved exclusively to the leaseholder. The price may fluctuate depending upon how much bandwidth you need on your line, and there is also an additional charge for setting up the leased lines. Permanent connectivity to the internet exposes the organization to a variety of security threats, including hacking, viruses, malicious code, Trojan horses, denial of service attacks. Next is delay. When you order a leased line, the provider has to arrange an installation of the dedicated line between the two locations. So it is a process that may take weeks, sometimes it may take even months. So it causes delay. Point-to-point lease lines is not suitable for personal or residential network connections, but they would cater primarily for businesses. For personal residential network connections, it becomes very costly and hectic to set up all the lease lines. But in case of businesses where the number of users accessing the internet is very large, this is more suitable. Next is ISDN. This diagram shows the particular setup of the ISDN, which stands for Integrated Services Digital Networks. Integrated Services Digital Network is a set of communication standards for simultaneous digital transmission of voice, video, data, and other network services over the traditional circuits of the public switched telephone network. ISDN internet service was the improvement upon dial-up. Its use peaked up in the late 90s before the availability of the DSL and cable modem technologies. Typical ISDN speeds range from 64 kbps to 128 kbps. The key feature of ISDN is that it integrates speech and data on the same line, adding features that were not available in the classic telephone system. A major market application for ISDN in some countries is internet access, where ISDN typically provides a maximum of 128 kbps in both upstream and downstream directions. In addition to internet access, ISDN also provides other applications like video conferencing, teleconferencing, networking of small offices and home offices. This diagram shows the setup of ISDN. The customer ISDN interface is connected to various applications like telephone, personal computer, alarm, LAN, and this interface on the other end is connected to the ISDN's central office, which provides us packet switching, network circuit switching, other networks, databases, and other services. All these are connected through the digital pipes to other networks and services. ISDN channels. In ISDN configuration, there are two types of channels involved. First one is B channels, which are called bearer channels because they carry voice, data, and fax transmissions. They carry this information in the frame format. Second type is D channels, which are called delta channels. They are used for out of band signaling, and they carry signals and control messages such as call setup and call teardown. Using these B channels and D channels, ISDN services can be classified as basic rate interface PRI and primary rate interface PRI. Basic rate interface, that stands for BRI, is shown here diagrammatically. It consists of two B channels and one D channel. It is mainly used for home or small office home office connection. It is common for video conferencing use or for transmitting data at higher speeds. It has two B channels as shown above, each of 64 kilobits per second, and these channels can be combined to provide a combined bandwidth that is 128 kbps for transmitting voice and data over it, and one D channel of data rate 16 kbps for carrying these signals and control messages. Next is primary rate interface PRI. It consists of 30 B channels and one D channel. It is used in large businesses. It has 30 B channels where each B channel is of 64 kbps and one D channel of 64 kbps. So together 30 B channels provide us a combined bandwidth of 1920 kbps for carrying the voice and data over it, and 64 kbps are used for carrying the signals and control messages. It is used mostly for telephone communication rather than data transmission, particularly within companies that have large private telephone exchange systems operating inside their business. So BRI is mainly used for data transmission, but PRI is mainly used for telecommunication rather than data transmission. Advantages of ISDN: it facilitates the user with multiple digital channels. These channels can operate concurrently through the same one copper wire pair. That is why it is called digital service, digital network. It provides a reliable connection. It provides higher speed than dial-up connection. That is, in case of BRI, basic rate interface, the total speed for data transmission is 128 kbps, and in case of PRI, the total bandwidth or total data rate provided for data transmission is 1920 kbps, which is much more higher than greater than the dial-up connection, which provides only up to 56 kbps data rate. ISDN network lines are able to switch manifold devices on the single line, such as faxes, computers, cash registers, credit card readers, and many other devices. These all devices can work together and directly be connected to a single line. So ISDN supports multiple devices on a single line. ISDN takes only 2 seconds to launch a connection, while other modems like DSL modem, they take 30 to 60 seconds for establishment. So the establishment of ISDN connection is much more quick in comparison to other modems. When the ISDN line is not being used for internet access, it can be used for other activities like video conferencing, teleconferencing, remote network maintenance, then small office or home office networking. Some limitations of ISDN are also there. It is a very costly technology than other typical telephone system, as it requires specialized digital devices just like telephone company. It provides limited connectivity and it is also considerably slower than DSL and cable modem. Next technology, internet access technology, is the VSAT. It stands for Very Small Aperture Terminal, refers to receive or transmit terminals installed at dispersed sites connecting to a central hub via satellite using small diameter antenna dishes, and diameter ranges from zero point 0.6 to 3.8 meter. It is a satellite communication system that serves home and business users. Data rates in the VSAT typically range from 56 kbps up to 4 mbps. Most VSAT networks are configured in one of the two topologies. One is star topology and other is mesh topology. VSATs are mostly commonly used to transmit narrowband data or broadband data for the provision of satellite internet access to remote locations or voice over IP or video conferencing. Main components of VSAT technology consist of the satellite, a central hub with a big dish antenna, a number of smaller nodes, smaller dish antenna kept at various remote locations that together form a star topology using the satellite network. Each end user is interconnected with the hub station via the satellite, forming a star topology. The hub controls the entire operation of the network. For one end user to communicate with another, each transmission has to first go to the hub station and then retransmit it via the satellite to the other end users VSAT. So this diagram shows the particular setup of VSAT technology. On the one end is the hub station and the other end is the remote sites. The outdoor unit of the remote site is the dish antenna, small dish antennas which are communicating with the satellite and then to the dish antenna placed at the hub station. The green dots are showing the signals which are sent and the red are showing the signals which are received. Advantages of VSAT are they are useful for remote locations, right? Rural areas, ships, coastal regions, hills, where there is limited or no terrestrial connectivity. Disadvantages of VSAT include extremely high initial cost is needed for building and launching the satellites. Second is in rainy conditions, rain attenuation may affect the performance of the VSAT communications. So these were the various types of internet connectivity technologies which are used today for getting the internet access at different rates according to our requirements and the geographical area conditions. Thank you.